From a patient who believed weight loss surgery was a magic fix,
No one told me I had to lose weight when I got here.
to one who thought Dr. Now's diet was impossible while sneaking burgers under their bed.
I know my family's really worried about how much I eat, but when I'm hungry, I just don't care. I better get what I want or I'm really gonna be upset.
These are by far the most delusional patients to ever appear on My 600-Pound Life. Starting with Pauline, a patient so deep in denial that even Dr. Now's legendary bluntness couldn't break through her wall of excuses. From the very beginning, she saw herself as a victim of circumstance rather than taking any responsibility for her situation. She claimed that as a child, her mother had starved her, which led to her unhealthy relationship with food. By the time she was 17 years old, she weighed 300 pounds. As her weight continued to spiral out of control, she reached 500 pounds by the time her son was just 2 years old. For Pauline, food was her only activity for the day.
There is not one good thing about being fat. The only good thing that I get out of it is when I'm eating. The biggest highlight of my day is eating. How is that powerful enough to keep me this way?
And because she couldn't fit into a car, she would travel outside in her wheelchair to eat, calling those 10 minutes of eating the only joy in her life.
I love food so much that I want to eat it all. The only thing I'm getting is the joy and satisfaction of the food for those 10 minutes. I'm living to eat instead of eating to live.
She admitted she was ruining her son's life, but still refused to change, fully aware that she was a burden, yet unwilling to do anything about it.
I just can't wait for the day that I don't have to help her every day.
Please don't let me wreck. Oh God. You're getting too close to the edge. Oh, okay, now I just had a heart attack.
When she moved to Houston to be close to Dr. Now, she called him her last hope, but she wasn't actually ready to make the sacrifices necessary to lose weight. When Pauline weighed in at 673 pounds, Dr. Now told her that she needed to lose 50 pounds in 2 months on a zero-carb diet before surgery could even be an option.
Pauline doesn't see her own responsibility in her current situation. So the question is if she even want to change right now. Unless we get handle on the compulsive eating, we're not gonna benefit from surgery. You should go to a zero-carb diet. And I want you to lose 50 pounds over the next couple of months.
Pauline admitted that her life had become boring. She did nothing but eat fast food and go to the bathroom. No effort was made to change her habits.
My days are so boring because I feel like I'm not established here like I was in California. So I am doing nothing all day. It's boring as heck. My only physical activity is walking to the bathroom from my bed.
Despite claiming she had been following the plan, she had gained weight, now at 677 pounds. When Dr. Now told her this was a serious problem, she insisted he was overreacting.
I think he may be overreacting a little bit.
Her complete lack of awareness was staggering. Dr. Now sent Pauline to the hospital to lose weight in a controlled environment, but she complained that the food wasn't great and said they were doing too much. Despite her resistance, she managed to lose down to 634 pounds, but it wasn't enough. Pauline was finally approved for weight loss surgery, but her real challenge started after the procedure. She had to start moving to prevent blood clots, but she refused, making excuses and crying about the pain.
If Pauline doesn't move around, a blood clot can form, and that can be fatal.
Doctors had to insert a blood clot filter to keep her alive. Dr. Now pointed out that she was self-destructive, and only she could change her fate.
Pauline is a very self-destructive person, and she doesn't seem to want to change that.
Pauline was sent home. She had lost 136 pounds, but Dr. Now wasn't impressed with her attitude. He told her she had to start doing things for herself if she wanted to keep making progress. Instead of pushing herself, Pauline skipped most physical activities, saying, "I'm making only the progress I want."
I think I'm going at a good pace. I'm making the progress I want.
She refused to follow orders, claiming Dr. Now had no right to tell her what to do. She only did pool exercises, insisting that everything else was too hard or too dangerous. At her next weigh-in, she had only lost 6 pounds, despite needing to lose 60. Dr. Now confronted her, but she still refused to acknowledge reality. She was happy with her tiny progress and upset that Dr. Now wasn't impressed. Pauline continued being delusional, saying she was finding her own pace. She ignored all medical advice and convinced herself she was doing great, even though the scale proved otherwise. Pauline returned to Doctor, now hoping he would be impressed, but she had lost barely any weight. Dr. Now was frustrated and pointed out that she wasn't even doing her physical therapy. Still, Pauline refused to accept the truth, saying she didn't need it.
If there's one my 600-pound life patient who truly defines the word delusional, it's Penny. From the start, Penny showed zero willingness to change. At over 500 pounds, she was completely dependent on her husband Edgar for everything, including caring for their child.
Her weight has affected us in many ways. I have to go to all school functions. He's in Taekwondo, and she never actually seen him. I've had to videotape his classes for her.
Dr. Now laid out a clear plan for her, but Penny had no interest in following it. She ignored the diet, refused to get out of bed, and then, despite all evidence to the contrary, insisted she was losing weight.
Miracle happening that you haven't lost any weight.
No, I've definitely lost weight.
Even after weight loss surgery, she barely made any progress because she refused to change her eating habits. By the end of her episode, Penny remained bedridden, still fully dependent on Edgar, and still convinced she was making progress. She's one of the only patients in the show's history who showed zero actual improvement. Penny's story is proof that no surgery, no doctor, and no amount of outside help can save someone who refuses to help themselves. But while Penny refused to move forward, the next patient refused to accept reality altogether.
Most patients understand that Dr. Now's program is not up for debate, but Lisa? She thought she could negotiate her way out of reality. At over 630 pounds, Lisa's health was in serious danger, but instead of following the diet, she argued with Dr. Now every step of the way. When she was told to cut back on food, she demanded modifications. When she was told to follow the diet, she insisted she was already doing it. And when she weighed in and hadn't lost anything, she acted shocked. But her most unbelievable moment came when she tried to convince Dr. Now to change his entire program to fit her preferences.
I don't believe it's gained in weight.
You clearly didn't stick to the diet.
No.
You have not lost weight and you're significantly overweight.
Okay, all I want to do is get cleaned up. I'm not even gonna fight you.
Lisa treated weight loss like it was a customer service complaint, as if Dr. Now could just adjust the settings to make things easier. But reality doesn't work like that.
So I'm admitting you to the hospital to start you on a 1,200 calorie controlled diet immediately.
Oh, man.
You need to take this seriously. If we don't get your weight down, you're going to die soon.
Oh, goodness.
Her refusal to accept the truth not only stalled her progress, but it also frustrated the doctor to the point where even he, someone with infinite patience, was done. Lisa's story is a masterclass in self-sabotage, but our next patient took things a step further because he refused help until it was too late. Shaun's episode was one of the most frustrating in my 600-pound life history. From the start, it was clear. She wasn't just struggling with her weight, she was refusing to take responsibility.
But food is the only thing in my life I have left to look forward to, so I don't know how to give that up.
At over 650 pounds, she was completely dependent on her mother, who acted as both an enabler and a victim of John's toxic behavior. Her living conditions were heartbreaking. She barely moved, refused to bathe, and lived in absolute squalor. Yet, when given a structured plan by Dr. Now, she ignored it. Instead of making even the smallest effort, John had an excuse for everything. She insisted she was trying, but the reality, she wasn't. Dr. Now, as always, was direct. If she didn't start making changes, no one could do it for her.
There is no improvement with Gina's situation. And at this point, I'm very concerned that we're not going to be able to get her to wake up and take this seriously in time. And there is no way she can keep going like this. So the next and final step we can try is to send her to psychotherapy. And maybe that will help. To start to break her of the delusion, she refuses to give up, where she believes she can continue to lie about her situation and pretend that she's doing everything she can, while her health continued to decline.
But Jean refused to take action. Every check-in was the same. More tears, more excuses, and zero progress.
This is all becoming a nightmare. All I need is weight loss surgery. And not only did I not get my approval, I have to go back into the hospital with my mom. So I'm extremely disappointed and depressed.
Jean's story was a harsh reminder that not everyone who asks for help actually wants to change, and no one, not even Dr. Now, can force someone to save themselves. Mercedes was another patient who talked about change but refused to take action. Weighing over 700 pounds, she claimed her biggest motivation was her children. She wanted to be there for them, to be a better mother.
My mom's weight has really affected me because I have to do all the work now, and she just sit there and I have to do everything, and it's hard for me and it's hard for her.
I wish I could help, but I can't do much from my bed. But I love my time with them in the evenings because we have dinner as a family in the bedroom, and I get to spend some time with them.
But as we've seen time and time again on My 600-Pound Life, saying you want to change and actually doing the work are two very different things. At first, it seemed like she understood what was at stake. Dr. Now gave her a clear plan. Follow the diet, control her portions, and start making small lifestyle changes.
You need to give up all of the cookie, candy, and soda, and chips. And I'm gonna give you a 1,200 calorie a day diet, high protein, low carb, for you to start immediately. And if you do that in a month, you should lose 80 pounds. And if you hit that goal and your medical tests are good, then we'll approve you for weight loss surgery. Okay?
Okay.
But as the weeks went by, it became obvious. Mercedes had no real intention of following through. Instead of cutting back on food, she kept eating the same unhealthy meals. Instead of making even small efforts to improve, she stayed in the same routine.
Brandon and Tamika had to go out of town for this past week. So this has been the hardest week to stick to the diet because I can't go out and get stuff. So my only option is for Kimura to go down the street and get some food for us.
And every time she stepped on the scale, she reacted with shock, almost as if she expected the weight to magically disappear. But denial has a cost.
I don't understand that. That number can't be right because it doesn't reflect all the hard work I know I did and the progress I could feel in my body.
No matter how many times she was told what needed to be done, Mercedes always had an excuse. She blamed circumstances, stress, and even the difficulty of the program, but never once did she take full responsibility. And without accountability, progress is impossible. As we've seen with so many other patients, refusing to change doesn't just stall weight loss, it makes life even harder. Mercedes remained stuck in the same cycle, promising change, but never actually putting in the effort to make it happen. And in the end, her health, her mobility, and even her relationship with her children suffered because of it. James K's case is one of the most heartbreaking examples of self-destruction in the show's history. At nearly 850 pounds, he was one of the heaviest patients Dr. Now had ever taken on.
Oh, ow, my leg.
I got
Let go, somebody got the fingernails in my leg.
Sorry.
But James's biggest problem wasn't just his weight, it was his complete refusal to take responsibility for his own actions. Despite being given multiple chances, James continued to overeat, relying on his enabler girlfriend Lisa to bring him whatever he wanted.
I bought this food and I carry the food to him, but I don't know how to stop.
I got your cookies. You want one?
Yeah.
And if I take him something healthy, then we argue because that's his comfort zone.
I know my family's really worried about how much I eat, but when I'm hungry, I just don't care. I better get what I want or I'm really gonna be upset, especially in the morning at breakfast.
Dr. Now repeatedly warned him that his time was running out.
James, if they don't bring you food, what are you gonna do to her? Scream? Yell?
Well, I get mad.
What are you coming to Houston for? We don't have a miracle for you. I talked to you, I talked to her, and what I see here, this is not a weight loss. You know, there's not much we can do for you. No medically, no surgically. You need to change, and she needs to stop bringing you food.
I have to eat something.
No, you don't have to eat something. You have eaten 800 pounds of food in you.
Even after being hospitalized, he made no effort to follow his diet. Eventually, Dr. Now had to cut ties, telling James that if he didn't change, there was nothing more he could do. Gina was one of the most frustrating patients because she constantly played the victim.
I was just trying to constantly eat as much as I could, and that pushed my weight to over 450 by the time I graduated high school. And as I was getting closer to 500, it started to get harder to do things. But that turned out to be a good thing, because becoming disabled like that meant I could qualify for some financial assistance to get a place.
No matter what happened, it was never her fault. She blamed Dr. Now, she blamed her family, she blamed stress, but never once did she take responsibility for her own choices.
But when it comes to food, it feels like I have no control. When I wake up, I'm starving, and I can't wait to eat. But eating, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel happy. It takes away all my pain and depression. So no matter what it's costing me and how much I hate my life, I can't stop. I just want more and more and more.
By the end of her episode, she had barely made any progress, proving once again that delusion is one of the biggest barriers to success.
All right, 556. So you actually gained some weight, and that's not good.
No, it's not. Just like really mad at myself right now.
All right, let's go.